The video begins with total silence, no music, no ambient sound, just a black screen that lingers long enough to feel wrong, until a faint electrical buzz slowly creeps in like an old security monitor powering up. Suddenly, grainy black and white footage appears. A small convenience store at night, fluorescent lights flickering, empty aisles, shelves half-stocked, a clock on the wall reading 3:33 a.m. The image feels still, lifeless, abandoned. White letters type across the screen one by one. Midnight Files, Queso 15. The narrator's voice enters calm and steady. Most missing person cases begin outside, on highways, in forests, in dark alleys. This one started under bright lights, with cameras recording everything, and witnesses watching in real time. A slight pause. A man walked into a store at 3:33 in the morning. 5 minutes later, he wasn't there anymore, and no one ever saw him leave. The story introduces the location, a 24-hour convenience store on the edge of town, the kind of place truck drivers and night workers stop for coffee and cigarettes. The cameras covered every angle: entrance, register, aisles, storage room, parking lot. Nothing inside that building happened off camera. That's why what occurred on November 9th still confuses investigators. At exactly 3:33 a.m., a man later identified as Thomas Gray pushes open the glass door and walks in alone. He looks normal. Mid-30s hoodie, jeans, no rush, no panic. The bell above the door rings softly. The clerk behind the counter barely looks up. The narrator emphasizes the ordinariness of the moment, slowing the footage as Thomas grabs a basket and casually walks down aisle 3. There was nothing strange about him, the narrator explains, until you watch closely. Thomas moves through the store like anyone else, picking up bottled water, a sandwich, a pack of batteries. The cameras capture him from every angle. He checks his phone, rubs his eyes like he's tired. At 3:35 a.m., he briefly pauses near the freezer section and stares toward the back hallway that leads to the employee restroom. He stands there for almost 10 seconds without moving. The clerk later said it looked like Thomas was listening to something. The audio from the store has no sound besides the hum of refrigerators. No voices, no footsteps. Yet Thomas slowly tilts his head, like someone whispering directly into his ear. Then, without buying anything, he places the basket on the floor and walks calmly toward the back hallway, disappearing from the front camera's view. No one inside the hallway is completely vacant. Thomas Gray has vanished in less than 3 minutes inside a space with no exit. The narrator pauses, letting the impossibility settle in. He didn't run. He didn't hide. He didn't leave. He simply wasn't there anymore. Police review the footage frame by frame. Entrance camera shows no one exiting. Parking lot camera shows no cars leaving. Backdoor alarm never triggered. There is no moment where Thomas returns to the main area. He enters the hallway and never comes back. Detectives slow down the hallway camera. That's when they notice something subtle. As Thomas walks toward the restroom, the fluorescent light above him flickers once, just once. For half a second, the image distorts. When it stabilizes, Thomas is one step closer to the door than he should be, like frames are missing. Then another flicker. Another small jump forward. Almost like the footage skipped time. Not enough to look obvious at first glance, but enough to erase something happening between frames. Investigators enhanced the audio recorded during those missing fractions of seconds. Beneath the electrical hum, they isolate a faint sound. Not footsteps. Not the door opening. Something else. A low, dragging noise, like fabric pulled across tile. Then what sounds like multiple whispers overlapping each other, too distorted to understand. The narrator's voice lowers. It almost sounds like people talking, but slowed down, reversed, or underwater. The clerk insists he never heard anything that night. No struggle, no crash, nothing. Just silence. The kind of silence that makes your ears ring. Yet something clearly happened in that hallway during those flickers. Thomas's background only deepens the mystery. No enemies, no debts, no reason to disappear. His phone last pinged inside the store and never moved again. It was never found. His car remained parked outside exactly where he left it. Keys still inside. Wallet still in the seat. It's as if he stepped out of reality. Days later, something even stranger occurs. At exactly 3:33 a.m., the store's motion sensor in the hallway triggers by itself. The lights turn on automatically, but the cameras show nothing there. Just an empty corridor. The sensor continues activating every night at the same time for weeks, as if someone invisible keeps walking down that same path Thomas took. The most disturbing detail comes from the final footage review. Detectives zoom into the last frame where Thomas is visible. As he turns the corner toward the restroom, the reflective metal surface of a vending machine briefly shows the hallway behind him. For less than a second, another shape appears in the reflection. Tala, standing directly behind him. Too close, close enough to touch his shoulder. But when the camera angle switches, nothing is there. No second person entered the hallway. No shadow should exist. Yet the reflection shows something following him step for step. The narrator lets the image linger, whatever it was. The cameras didn't see it, but the reflection did. The case remains open to this day. No body, no suspect, no explanation. The store eventually removed the hallway and sealed it with drywall after employees refused to walk back there alone at night. But even now workers claimed that sometimes around 3:33 a.m., the motion lights still turn on behind the wall for no reason, as if someone is still pacing that narrow space that technically no longer exists. The narrator closes quietly. Thomas Gray walked into a brightly lit store filled with cameras and witnesses. The safest place he could be. And somehow, that's exactly where he disappeared. The final shot shows the empty aisle, fluorescent lights buzzing overhead. The clock changes to 3:33. The hallway light flicks on by itself. Cut to black. White text appears. Thomas Gray's still missing. The buzzing sound abruptly stops. Silence.